Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode. This is a soccer team special. This is not the usual stock market coverage that we do. It's just one of our special episodes that will be starting from today. And today I have a very important topic to speak about. So welcome to Stalker Team, the investors channel where we educate and inform and also share very good information based on research, based on a whole lot of due diligence. And of course, you still have to do your own due diligence that can actually improve your well-being, especially your financial well-being, just as your health, your psychological, your mental, your spiritual well-being is very important. Your financial well-being is also very important. So as you're taking all those aspects of your life very seriously, your financial well-being is also very important because everything is linked. So today we have this topic, which is investment scams, how to prevent yourself from actually falling into investment scams, falling for investment scams, getting defrauded or being scammed by investment scammers and fraudsters, how to actually spot them, especially in the financial market from anything that you can actually invest in legally. How do you actually prevent yourself from being a victim of scam? Scams actually have devastating consequences or effect on victims. People feel very embarrassed. People feel quote unquote very foolish. A whole lot of people, feel very angry with themselves that they can't actually even tell people, and it can have so many devastating psychological consequences on people. People also get depressed, and it can also lead into so many consequences that I wouldn't really necessarily want to go into. But we know how people can lose their life savings, everything they've worked for, to scammers, to scams that come in a way that it shows that you can make so much money doing nothing or little within a very short period of time. So why are we doing this episode? We are doing this episode to actually bring more awareness into or about investment scams, because this channel is for investors, people who actually want to invest properly, legally, without necessarily doing anything that is against the law, without breaking any rules, and following all the ethics that is actually required of you as an investor. So this is not necessarily a classroom topic, but I'm going to actually break investment scams break them down in a way that you can actually tie it into what you're already doing, what you plan to do. This topic is so important because we have taken time to actually talk about different investment ideas, stock picks, some of the best companies you can invest in. But a whole lot of people or audience that we come across who watch our channel, many people still ask us a lot of questions about, oh, should I invest in this? I heard about this. Some people contacted me on WhatsApp, via text message, on social media. Is this genuine and all that? How do you even go about doing your own due diligence? But in the first instance, we need to actually be able to differentiate between actual legal investing, ethical investing, that is properly regulated, and differentiate them from scams. So when you are able to do that, then you have the opportunity to actually prevent yourself from falling or being a victim of scam. So come with me on this episode. Also, let me also make a disclaimer, because we might also be talking about some other investment ideas. So every information shared on this channel is for education and information purpose only. So do your due diligence or speak to your financial advisor before making any decision. And on that note, come with me. So what exactly is investing? So before we actually go into what exactly is investment scams or investing scams or all of these schemes that actually take people's life savings away in a fraudulent way, we actually need to also understand what is investing, because a whole lot of people misunderstand or misunderstood, or they get misinformed or disinformed about what exactly is investing, and also what looks like investing but it's not investing, which we call investment scams or scams. So investing is actually when you put your money into something. It could be a stock, it could be a piece of property or land, which is real estate. It could even be a business. You could start your own business, either providing services, consulting, being a project manager, being, even driving people, starting your own product, designing, a graphics person, a web designer, a programmer. You can also, offer your services, produce things that people can actually use. You can build stuffs that people can actually buy. You are actually investing money with the hope that this business, this asset or stock or real estate will actually grow over time and make you more money. You can pay your taxes from there, from out of your profit. But investing is actually you putting your money into something, and it has to be legal. It's not something that you actually have to do under the table, or hush or something somebody tells you, do not tell anybody, this is a special secret and all that. Investing has to be open, it has to be legal, it has to be regulated. The regulation is not necessarily you being tutored like a child on what you should invest in or how you should invest in. Regulation actually allows you to understand the risks, the opportunities, and also for you to also be aware of the consequences of you actually putting your money into a particular security or a particular asset or even a business in the first place. So that's exactly what investing is all about. Investing is not something you have to do you have to actually, more or less, you don't necessarily have to tell everybody, oh, I'm investing in this company and all that. If you don't want to do that, you are not compelled to do that, but it's not something anyone has to tell you that is secret, or there is a special thing that nobody needs to know about, or the government doesn't know about. Investing has to be something you can verify, something that is in the open, that is actually regulated. Different authorities, different institutions have actually, provide the rules of engagement for both you as an investor and also the vehicles of investment that you invest in, the asset managers, the investment companies, or even the business you want to invest in. There are rules that everybody has to play on. That's exactly what is investing. So, what exactly is an investment scam? Now, sometimes it could be very, very difficult to differentiate actual, legal, or genuine investing or investment from investment scams, because people who actually, engage, or the criminal organizations who engage in investment scams, who scam people out of their hand-earned money and life savings, they basically trick people, and they pretend to actually offer great money making opportunities, but actually they just want to take your money without giving you any real returns. So they don't necessarily plan to give you the return. The real thing they want to get from you is actually your capital, it's your life savings, it's your hard-earned money that you've actually even paid tax on. So in the real sense of it, it is not a return that you are being promised that you are going to get. It is the actual £100, $100, $1,000, $20,000, £20,000 that you have saved over time, that you have toiled and labored for, that they actually want to gain or take from you. So it's actually, they use different tricks to actually get these things from you and pretend that they have a vehicle that you can invest in that gives you very good returns. They also even tell you that is something that is very secret. Is something that they know better, and they have a whole lot of strategy. But at the end of the day, it is your hard-earned money that will be taken away from you. So let's move forward. So how do you actually separate investment, genuine investment, legal investment, regulated investment from fake or investment scams? Just like I've defined or even explained it earlier, they actually make you fake promises. So scammers will promise you high returns with little or no risk, oftentimes with very, very unrealistic returns. And in investing, when anyone tells you that there's little or no risk in any asset or security that you're investing in, that is actually a number one red flag. And they tell you within a week you can make on your £1,000 or $1,000, you can make another extra $5,000, or within 3 months or 4 months, your £10,000 can actually multiply by 3. You can make 30 grand on a £5,000 or £20,000 investing, and that it is guaranteed and there's no risk. Also, you kind of feel that there is a pressure tactics. They rush you to actually invest very quickly. They want you to actually, that is an opportunity that if you miss it now, you have missed out. Actually, in the world of investing, there is no better time to invest. There is always opportunities for investors or in shareholders or these people to actually invest in either a business or a stock or any asset. There will be times when the economy will be down, when the economy will not be doing too well, when the economy will be doing very well, when the stock market will yield better returns. We have seen what happened recently with the tariff war, how the S&P 500 pulled back by 10%. So a whole lot of people who couldn't invest before that time, when the market went up, they got that opportunity to buy a whole lot of assets or stocks for 40%, 50%, 30%, 25% less. So if anyone starts pressuring you that there's a limited time and you have to invest very quickly into this opportunity, it ends up being an investment scam or a scam. And also, there's no transparency. They hide important details, like how the investment works and who is behind it. You don't necessarily see the people who are behind it. You don't see their track record. Sometimes they actually even use fake identities of people who don't even exist. With the advancement in large language model like AI, chatbot, they can take the picture of a genuine person from anywhere, slam it on the website, slam it on an app, and claim that that person is associated with that investment vehicle or the investment company. They can even create fake identities, fake lookalike of other people who don't actually exist, and they give them very, very, very bogus profile and CVs. So sometimes they don't even show anything or anyone behind it. But in the real sense, when important details are hidden from you, you can't verify who is behind the company by verifying with the proper authorities, from Companies House to securities, which I'm going to get into, to Security and Exchange Commission in any of the countries that you are, either the US, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, anywhere you are, China, that is leaning towards a scam. Now let's move forward. You will not, in most cases, get your money back. Sometimes you could actually get some few amount back when you're just starting with them. But what they do is to encourage you to put in more money, and sometimes they even call it pig butchering. They whet your appetite by giving you fake returns in the short term. But in the medium to long term, because you have actually seen this fictitious return that you've collected, a few weeks or a few days, you will actually be pressured or be encouraged to even borrow money from elsewhere or put your entire life savings into that. And once you do that, you will actually lose everything. This website, these apps will shut down and you won't be able to get your money back. And in most cases, when these scammers are not in your country of domain where you live, you can't actually even go after them legally, because it's also very difficult to know where these scammers are based. Some scammers are based in faraway continents, faraway time zones from yourself, and you actually think you are talking to investment managers within your local area, within your county, or within your region, or within your country, but oftentimes you don't even know who you are talking to. Now, the type of investment scams, I'm very, very sure a whole lot of us, we've seen almost everything I've been talking about so far. We've heard about it, we've read about it, we've watched so many documentaries, but this is very, very important for this channel that we rein in ourselves in the first instance, to actually make sure we have that duty of care to do a content on investment scams. So there are different types that criminals will always design different schemes that it looks like it smells like it behaves like an investment, or that is legal and legit, but it is not necessarily so. From Ponzi schemes, scammers use new investors' money to pay earlier investors, pretending it's real profit. They are not actually investing your money. They get money from new investors to pay you back. But because you've gotten some money back, you actually want to empty your life savings or even borrow more money or sell some of your assets to put more money. But at the end of the day, everything falls down like a house of cards. We have pyramid schemes. You basically make money by recruiting others. So it's not real investment. And when you can't actually, or the system could not actually recruit new investors, everything falls down. We have pump and dump schemes and scams, especially even in the stock market. This is very, very prevalent because some of these companies don't actually make any money. They are so much in debt, but the scammers and fraudsters, they will hype up stocks using social media, using bloggers, using a whole lot of content on any of these streams of information to hype up a stock or an asset. Then when a whole lot of people put their money into these stocks or asset or securities, they sell it and everything crashes down. We have advanced free fraud, which is also very popular. You'll be asked to pay for an upfront for an investment that doesn't actually exist. So oftentimes some of these companies don't even exist. Some of the stocks don't even exist in the first place. In the forex, stock, crypto ecosystem, we have scammers who promise huge returns from trading, but they actually just steal your money. They have fake websites that they design. They have so many things that they actually orchestrate. It's an industry. It's an economy of its own, but it's a very legal economy. It's an underworld that if you actually take much more time to investigate and see the underbelly of the scam and fraud ecosystem, you actually want to actually take more time, relax, take a deep breath, take that opportunity to actually do your due diligence before investing in anything. And we have unregistered investment schemes and companies. These fraudsters, they offer investment that is not approved by any regulator, and because there's no oversight, there's no government regulation, there's no one actually checking what they are doing, whether they are following the financial conduct practices and ethics and regulation, they oftentimes make away with large sums of money, people's life savings, and it always ends badly for the victims. Now, back in history, there are so many scams that have existed. The largest being the Benny Madoff. Over $65 billion was lost the perpetrator actually got life imprisonment. We have the Allen Stanford Ponzi scheme in 2009, over $7 billion lost. We have the ZZZ best fraud, $100 million dollars lost. We have the Enron scandal, over 74 billion was lost. WorldCom accounting fraud, Charles Ponzi, which is where we got the Ponzi scheme name from. As at that time in the 40s, over 300 million lost. We have Nick Leeson, about $1.4 billion lost. We have MF Global, collapse. We have the Wirecard scandal in Europe, in Germany, over $2 billion lost. These are even the big companies that actually even involved in investment scams. But the real danger that we actually have are smaller criminal organizations, criminal gangs that actually trick people out of their hard-earned savings and even investment. They don't even have big operation. Some actually have big, very big industrial operation, but the biggest one is actually the ones on social media, on WhatsApp, lying to people, creating WordPress website within a few hours or a few days, and they trick people into investing into crypto that doesn't necessarily exist. They take away all your crypto or your money and they shut it down. They move to the next. So it's a very, very large ecosystem, but it is not legal, and you are likely to lose your money when you don't do your own due diligence, when you can't actually differentiate between a scam and a legal or a real investment, a genuine investment. So how would you actually verify what is legitimate, what is not legitimate? In every country that you can think of that actually exists as a country, there are regulators. Regulators are not necessarily perfect. Regulators are not necessarily the alpha and omega of everything, but they don't even claim to be perfect. But over time, they have existed and they have moderated investing and investment for so many countries. And because of that, the rules that they play with, the rules that they create, actually make it easier for an average retail investor not to be conned out of their life savings, not to be scammed and lose everything they've worked for. Even as a matter of fact, retail investors, institutional investors or big investment companies, even are part of the organization, are part of the regulators. And because of that, the civil society, non-governmental organizations, a lot of charities, a lot of people in politics, a lot of people in civil society, they are part of these institutions to make sure that everyone plays by a fair system, that even if the ground is not level for everyone, but the system is still fair, there's equity, and there are minimum standards and higher standards for anyone who wants to play. Either you are a retail investor, either you are an investment company, you are a brokerage firm, either you are an advisory company. They design everything and it is perfected over time. It is revised. When we had the global recession in 2007 to 2008, a whole lot of the rules guiding the lending, the mortgage industry, the investment banking, and the traditional consumer banking, everything was revised so that a whole lot of the problem that we had that led to that collapse of the global economy around that time do not necessarily repeat themselves. So If you can see, in the US, we have the US Security and Exchange Commission. They have a website that you can go to. In the UK, it's Financial Conduct Authority. In Australia, the Australia Securities and Investment Commission, ASIC. In Nigeria, for instance, we have Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, just like the US. In South Africa, we have the Financial Conduct Authority, Financial Sector Conduct Authority, FSCA. In European Union, we have the European Union Securities and Markets Authority, ESMA. In Egypt, we have the Financial Regulatory Authority. In India, we have SEBI, which is Security and Exchange Board of India. In the UAE, we have the Securities and Exchange Securities and Commodities Authority, SCA of the UAE. In Hong Kong, we have the Security and Futures Commission, SFC. In China, which is, big economies, we have the China Securities Regulatory Commission. And in Kenya, for instance, we have the Capital Markets Authority, CMA. So whichever country you are, even if you are not on this list, that doesn't mean your country or the regulator isn't important. Go on Google now and go there. They have so much information. They actually get budget from the government. Some of them are funded by donations, by a whole lot of charities. They spend so much money to educate investors. They approve investment programs. They approve investment securities. Before a stock is listed, there are processes the companies have to actually go through. After it is listed, there are processes, there are filings, there are reports, quarterly, annually, biannually. If any director is selling a stock, there's a minimum reporting that has to be done, and that time, also the accredited brokerage firms, investment firms, they regulate them, they give them all the information that they need to work. Also, as a retail investor, you can actually verify with these organizations, with these regulators. They have hotlines that you can call. They have YouTube channel, social media channels that you can watch from time to time. Yes, doing due diligence actually is the most important part of being an investor. So that exactly is what we are trying to achieve here, because we have talked about a whole lot of investment ideas, stock picks and all that. We need to actually also ensure that we have that duty of care to let everyone know investment can be very rewarding, can be very, very good if you actually understand what it is, if you delay gratification, if you take your time to actually invest in what is right. It's not just the stock market you can invest in. You can invest in mortgages, you can invest in stocks itself, you can invest in other things. But all of these things come with risks. They come with consequences. You have to pay tax on some of these gains. You have to actually sometimes even disclose what you're doing, depending on how big or how small that you play. And there are minimum standards of responsibility that you actually have to play by. So on that note, I hope we've been able to actually educate and also share what we think is very, very important for our audience and anyone who has watched this episode. We thank everyone so much for watching this episode. We are going to be doing more and more special episodes. So on this note, thank you so much. Share this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed. Please join us on Stocker Team Live on X. If you haven't really subscribed to our channel, we really want you to subscribe, because that is the only thing that actually makes us to be more encouraged, to bring you more ideas, to bring you more information that will enrich you and enrich your well-being. Keep investing and keep growing. Take care and bye-bye.